Hello everyone, I'm Randy Arrington and welcome to the 12th episode of Page Valley Livin. We're here today inside the noisy gymnasium of Luray High School, where the Bulldogs have worked their way into a number 2 position in the Bull Run District after winning 5 in a row heading into the last week of the regular season. We're going to be talking with LHS coach Matt Huff in just a moment, and we're going to talk about this week ahead and the postseason that lies ahead for a Luray team that has really brought back a lot of Bulldog pride to a historic program with a lot of good basketball history. And that's all coming up, of course, and it leads to another big rivalry showdown with Page County on this Friday night at 7:30 p.m. right here in Luray High School. We're going to do that in just a moment, but first, we would like to say thank you to our sponsor, Luray Caverns. Luray Caverns, where you can hear music of symphonic quality from ancient stone formations on the great stalacpipe organ, the largest musical instrument in the world, only at Luray Caverns. Visit them online at luraycaverns.com to plan your trip today. Well, we're going to be right back in just a moment with Coach Matt Huff talking about the Bulldogs special team and their special season. But right now, I'm going to challenge the coach to a slam dunk contest. And while we do that, here's this week's headlines. And now looking back at the week that was in the Page Valley. At Monday's meeting of the Page County Board of Supervisors, Kyle Rossner of All Points Broadband gave a detailed update on the county's multi-million-dollar broadband project. Rossner stated that the regional project should be completed in the third quarter of 2025, and specific areas in Page County and other counties will receive notice 90 days before service becomes available. Supervisors also heard a favorable financial report from their county's FY23 audit, showing the county coffers have $26 million in its fund balance, including $23.5 million in unrestricted funds. Over the last several years, the county has collected more revenue than it has spent, and Page County currently carries a total debt of $72.3 million with an annual budget of just under $70 million. Nina Fox, director of the county's Economic Development and Tourism Department, gave the board an update for plans to construct and operate the Page Valley Cultural Center and Business Hub on county-owned land along Route 211. Fox recommended the cheaper of 2 options ranging from $3 to $5 million, stating that the county could add on in the future. No action was taken by the supervisors, who requested that the town of Luray be brought into the conversation to see if they backed the project. And finally, the supervisors recognized the 2023 Dispatcher of the Year, Holly Richards. Daniel Reinhardt, head of the county's Emergency Operations Center, told supervisors that Richards had gone beyond the call of duty and was praised by co-workers for her 8 years of experience and 30 advanced trainings. In the world of sports, the Page County girls basketball team picked up a huge win on Monday night at Strasburg. The Panthers handed the Rams their first Bull Run District loss of the season, 55-51, behind a game-high 21 points from senior Faith Mason. On Friday night, the Luray boys basketball team held on with solid free throw shooting to beat visiting Clark 62-57, behind 18 points from sophomore Connor Hilliard, who went 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Both of these teams sit in second place in the Bull Run District as they prepare to close out the season at LHS this Friday night in the second of the big cross-county rivalry games that will happen between Luray and Page. The girls tip off at 6 p.m. and the boys will follow at about 7:30 p.m. Looking ahead at the weekend, Performing Arts of Luray delivers a Valentine's Day arrangement on its newly constructed stage with 3 showings of Love Letters. The performance begins Friday evening, February 9th at 7:30 p.m. Now, that is a performance only, and it'll be $25 per person. Then on Saturday, February the 10th, they have dinner and a performance, a little dinner theater at 6:30 p.m. That is $60 a person. On Sunday, February 11th, they'll have a 2 p.m. matinee. That'll be a dessert theater, dessert and performance at $35 a person. That's 3 showings of Love Letters this weekend at the Rebecca J. Graves Regional Center for the Performing Arts in downtown Luray. And that's the headlines for the Page Valley this week. Welcome back, everyone. We're filming on Monday, February the 5th, and our 12th episode of Page Valley Livin will be airing on Wednesday, February the 7th. We're here today, as I said, in Luray High School gymnasium, and we're talking with head boys basketball coach of Luray, Matt Huff. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Your team has now won 5 games in a row, including a 62-57 win over Clark on Friday night that moved you into second place tie with the Eagles. Now, before we get into how well the team is playing right now, you made a classy move on Friday night prior to the game with a tribute to the longtime Clark County boys basketball coach. Tell me about him and why you chose to honor him.
Well, choosing to honor him was really easy for me. I played for Coach Emmert. His first year of coaching basketball at Clark County was my freshman year. And, you know, he was like a second father to me, like a big brother. I mean, he had the gym open at 6 a.m. for us. And you know, everything that I learned I got a lot from him. And he was just such a great person, not just a great coach, but he's a great individual, a great man. The last several years, he and I would be on the phone together, game planning, talking basketball. He was not just my coach. I mean, he was a mentor. He was a friend. He was a best friend to me. And so to me, that was the only thing to do was to honor him before we played. And some people from Clark that played said that after the game, you know, that he was smiling down on me and proud of me. So that was really big for me.
I was going to ask you if you got any feedback from the Clark folks. So that was a classy move, Coach.
Yeah, I did. They texted me. They sent me a lot of texts. So it was good.
How long have you been coaching the Bulldogs?
This is my 6th season coaching the Bulldogs.
6th season.
Yes, sir.
You've seen some rough patches, and this year you got a special group that's brewing right here, and we're going to talk about the shooters in just a second because you got several, but I want to talk about the big guys down in the paint, the guys doing the hard work. You got 6'4" senior forward Christian Lentz. Now, he is a force at both ends of the court. He is a double threat every night.
Oh, he is, absolutely, and this is his 4th year playing for me.
4th year.
He played as a freshman, so he grew as a freshman. Played, you know, he didn't start as a freshman, but he played a whole lot of minutes. And then as a sophomore, he was a second team All-District. Last year, he was first team All-District. So he has grown 4 years with me. So most of my coaching tenure, I've been coaching him, which has been awesome, man. It's been a pleasure to have him. He's such a great kid. He's such a hard worker on the floor. He's been a good role model and example to all the younger guys, and he just works his tail off every single night.
He is a tough-looking basketball player. He is brutal in that paint. And I tell you, right beside him, you got 6'3", another senior. You got senior leadership there in the front court with Ryder Liscombe. Now, I tell you, everything I've ever seen him play, he gives 100%.
He does, and that's what we ask. It's, you know, with Ryder, it's all about the little things and the physical things. Be physical, do what you got to do. We don't need you to score 100 points. We need you to rebound. We need you to defend, and we need you to be our vocal leader out there. And he has really taken that role on very well this year.
And I'll tell you what, you have got some shooters, man. Against Central, y'all are 81% at the line. You finished the game 7 of 8, and you've got 3 guards who I think can just find the bottom of the net. They, I think during that 5-game winning streak, they were sort of trading who was the leading scorer for the team. And they're young, too. 2 of them are sophomores. Matthew Owens, he seems to have a deeper knowledge of the game than most players at his age.
Right, which is shocking knowing his father. That kind of surprises me. But his mother was a phenomenal player too, so I must say he gets most of that from
I don't think
her.
Stevie heard that.
He didn't hear that, but that's okay. Oh, he does. He understands the game. He understands. And you know, the thing with him is usually night in and night out, he's getting the other team's best player. You know, the best defender is usually going to be on him because if they can slow him down, they think they have a shot. It's a realistic shot of beating us. So he usually gets the other team's best punch, and he knows and understands that, and he goes out every night and plays his role. I mean, if he's got the shot, he takes it, he attacks, he shares the ball. For his size, man, we couldn't ask for more.
He's a hustler on defense. He got a bunch of steals. And I'll tell you another sophomore that's making a big impact, Connor Hilliard. He has a sweet shot. He led the team with 18 points on Friday night against Clark.
Hey, Connor's one of those guys, man, that he does everything. Not only can he score, but he can rebound, he can defend. Most of the time, I think he leads us in assists. He leads us probably in steals. He just is one of those stat stuffers. To imagine if he put in a little extra time in the summer and not so much baseball, he could be a district player of the year type kid, man.
Every coach is jealous of the other sport coach. But then you got junior Blake Jenkins to round out that trio in your backcourt. He had a solid game against Page County in front of that capacity crowd, intense game. He had 19 points.
Absolutely. He's our catalyst. We've told him from the beginning, from day one, if he goes, we go. He has to set the motor. He has to set the tone. He gets it going. He gets us going. And when he does, man, we are really hard to beat when he gets that thing going, man.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you got some great shooting guards, and when they're on, y'all are a tough team. And talk about a tough team, you are in a tough district. And coming up this final week of the regular season, you got 3 tough games. You got 2 of them on the road. You got to go at Rapp on Tuesday night. By the time this airs, you will have played that game, and then you've got Clark again on Wednesday night. That must be a makeup game.
Sir.
And then, let's take a quick look here at the Bull Runs. I got them here, the top 5 teams. Madison, of course, at 11-1. We're going to talk about Madison in a minute, and we're going to talk about that one. But Clark, in the district, Clark is 8-3. Luray is 8-3. Rapp is 8-4, and Strasburg is sitting right there at 7-5. Bull Run's a tough place to play.
The Bull Run is absolutely, it's one of the best districts in the state, in my opinion. Top to bottom, there's 7 teams. 7 teams I feel could win the district tournament. There's 17, and that 8th team really, the way they defend and how they do.
A couple players.
You just never know on any night, but there's 7 teams in our district that can win, and that's how deep our district is. There's 8 teams, and I really feel there's 7 that could win the tournament.
Yeah, well, there's everybo's chasing the Mountaineers. They're, like we said, they're 11-1 in the district. They're 14-6 overall. And just to give the overall records, Clark 13-6, Luray 12-5, Rapp 12-6. Again, it's so tight. But 11-1, you guys went down to Madison, and not only did you give at the time the undefeated team in the district their only loss, you had your highest point total of the season, 74 points. What happened that night?
It was one of those games we said if we get everybody going, everybody on the same page, everybody clicking at the same time, we could beat anybody. In that first half, we were clicking. I think we hit 9 threes in the first half. And then not to mention our inside presence that we had right there, so we had it going, and that was one of those games that we came out and did. And, we should have beat them here on December 21st. That was.
We won't talk about the call.
Don't need to talk about that, but that was.
Okay.
We could be sitting in first place.
Yes.
Right now for that. So, and that's where our district is, man. It's just and they're great. They're well coached. They have a phenomenal coach. Coach Breeden has done a phenomenal job. He always does. And that's the other thing about our district. Coach Fox at Strasburg, Coach Breeden. Those guys are phenomenal, great coaches,
basketball.
Man.
Yeah.
And so, not only is that's why, to me, that's why our district is so good.
Well, at the end of this week, you got the 2 road games back to back. Then on Friday night, throw the records out of the door. That overtime thriller on February 3rd down at Page was one of the best games. Well, no, it was the best game I have seen this season. And I'm going to tell you what, Panthers are probably the best 4-win team in the state of Virginia.
Absolutely they are. And I've said that for 2 months now. They're right there in every game. They are in every game. It's not like they're getting beat by 30 and 40. They're in every game. They're right there, and they're a young group too. They're a young group too. And of course, Coach Parker coached for me for 4 years, so I know what those guys are about. That was a classic Luray Page game. Exactly what we wanted, and
We'll see a repeat?
I'm assuming. I believe that Friday night, hopefully we got a super packed house, and I think it's going to be the same thing. I think it's going to come down to the wire. And,
oh, man, I can't wait. I can't wait. Sir. Folks, you got to get your tickets now for this packed house. Is going to be here at Luray High School this Friday night, February 9th at 7:30 p.m. The girls are going to kick it off and tip off at 6 p.m. The boys at 7:30. It's a flip-flop top of what they did at Page. And I tell you what, we're going to take a really quick break. Will you stick around and play a game called 5Ws with us?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we're going to do that in just a moment, and we're going to first thank again our sponsor, Luray Caverns. From well-lighted paved walkways, explore cathedral-sized rooms with ceilings 10 stories high, and walk among huge chambers filled with towering stone columns. Come visit Geology's Hall of Fame, only at Luray Caverns. Visit them online at luraycaverns.com to plan your trip today. And now back with Coach Matt Huff of the Luray boys basketball team and the 5 W's. I'm going to ask you 5 simple questions with a who, what, when, where, and why. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Who is your favorite basketball player of all time?
My favorite basketball player of all time is Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. Interesting
Yes,
choice. Why'd you choose him?
Well, you know, he's a Virginia boy. He's from South Lakes. He went to Duke. So, and when I was a young kid, you know, that 1991 where they won the national title, he was a freshman, and I watched him play. You know, it was just like, oh, hey, that's how I want to model my game. After when I was a kid, I took a white T-shirt and wrote Duke 33 G Hill on the back of it. So, you know, I didn't have money to buy a jersey then, but I created my own. So,
who's your favorite team, or what is your favorite team outside of the Bulldogs, of course, but college or pro? Who do you like to watch?
College. I love Duke. And Coach K, I fell in love in '91 with Duke and been there ever since.
I know they're one of the best, and some of my best friends are Duke fans, but
Yes, sir. You a Tar Heel guy, I take it.
No.
Okay.
I support Virginia or Virginia Tech, either one.
Okay.
Virginia Tech really is at my heart, but I'm a football guy.
Football
I'm sorry,
guy.
Coach,
All right.
I'm a football
Yes,
guy.
sir.
But Virginia Tech, but those Carolina schools, man, both of them just get under my skin. When did you start coaching?
Well, I started coaching after college. I played at Eastern Mennonite University, and Coach Kirby Dean asked me to stay on, and so I coached at Eastern Mennonite University for 13 years before I came over here to Luray.
Wow.
Outstanding,
outstanding. And where did you learn the most about basketball?
Well, probably my father.
Okay.
Before I was even born, and even up to when I was just a little kid, he ran the rec leagues there in Berryville and Clark County, and you know, just learned a whole lot from him. And then after him was Coach Emmert, obviously. Learned so much from him, and Coach Dean. I mean, the guys I coached with and played for, I learned so much from. But my father first, and then Coach Emmert and Coach Dean for sure. I mean, I still, like I said, I talked to Coach Emmert up until, you know, he passed. We talked regularly, and I still talk to Coach Dean all the time about different things. So,
final question here. I'm going to let you off the hook. So why is, as I said, you've been coaching here a while. You've had your ups and downs. There's been some rough seasons. But why is this team special in 2023, 24? What makes them special?
Well, I think what makes this team so special is they bought in and understood that, you know, like we talked about from day one, it takes 12 guys. We have 12 guys on the roster. It takes 12 guys to win the game, right? But it takes one guy to lose. And whether they play 32 minutes or they play 0 minutes, it takes all those guys to win. And they've all really understood that and bought into it, and every day they bring it every day, and they encourage each other, and they make sure we get what we need to get done in practice. And I think just the fact that they bought into that all 12 is what it takes to win, it's made this group super special, and we've been super unselfish, and that's what's really helped us win, is how unselfish we've been.
Nothing beats chemistry.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for being
Thanks
with
for
us
having
today.
Me, man. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. We want to say thank you to Coach Matt Huff here. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Thank you for everything that you have done and everything that you will do to help mentor these kids.
Yes, sir.
We want to say thanks again to our sponsor, Luray Caverns, and to Eleanor Arrington for all of her work behind the camera today. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you hit that like button and also share it with a friend, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And finally, make sure that you visit our furry friends down at Page County Animal Shelter and help them find a forever home. Until next week, this is Randy Arrington saying, enjoy that Page Valley living.